It's tough to do a Christmas present for a kid because you know they're going to get lots of toys. And Ray came up with this brilliant idea to do a journal of every time that we got together with our granddaughter Zoe. So all due credit goes to him for coming up with the initial idea. And the idea here was that every time we got together with Zoe, we would just kind of record the highlights of the day and just make a note of them so that she could look back on it sometime in the future and enjoy again the time that we spent together. Zoe and Ray here were playing a game of dots, and I kept the game and slipped it inside her book with some photo corners. And then to make it fun, I did a little drawing of the dots underneath the game. So there's some little hide and seek stuff in the book. Here Zoe turned 6, and even though we didn't really see her that day, turning 6 is a big deal, and she got to go to New York and be in a parade. Here Zoe's making Valentines, and on this particular day, her quote of the day is, "My job is to talk." And we both kind of raised our eyebrows about that and was wondering how good that was going over in school. And here she is playing with more tape and glue, and her new quote of the day is, "Her job is art. Think more, talk less." Lead Graffiti had its 10th anniversary, and of course Zoe was there, and we made note of that and the kind of fun that we had there. And here's some of Zoe's drawings that were fun to include in the book. It seemed to snow a lot this particular year, so trying to showcase the snow different ways each time. And it's fun playing with the typography, taking the O in snow and turning it into a fancy snowflake. And just bits and pieces of a book project, making a dragon book with Zoe, so that was kind of fun. Recording things that she did with her friends and stuff. I started playing a little more with the typography, taking the word numbers, doing it in really squinched style. It was something that gJill and Zoe did a lot together, was talking about math and numbers. And here she is. We have 2 days in a row to spend with Zoe. Fun, 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 till her daddy takes her T-Bird away. She doesn't understand that, but her mom does. And here's Zoe's little typing exercise that she did during the day. She got to play with an old-fashioned electric typewriter. And always having fun at lunch. This particular day we got to go meet her dad at lunch and have lunch together.
When I used to pick her up to bring her to the house, I always liked to talk about math. I like the idea of kids learning how to do math in their head. So this particular day we were using the time in the car to learn how to speak 4-digit numbers.
This was kind of fun to do a checklist. Zoe and gJill were having fun bringing breakfast this time instead of cooking breakfast when they got to the house. And making a little book. Zoe's favorite color here is still blue, but she's working pretty good with the crayon. Giving it a really good workout. Starting to have more fun with the letters, drawing over and over the same letter as a squiggle and then filling in random parts of it to give it a little bulk and mass. Playing with the typography, skinny letters, fat letters, taking the number 4 and suggesting a flag and streamers with it.
I'm not sure how you pull this off, but we think these could make pretty interesting digital typefaces.
Yeah, just taking individual words within the text sometimes and emphasizing them different ways, making them bold or different size, different colors, that kind of thing, and including some of Zoe's artwork in there that we did that particular day. trying to take the letters and make a illustration out of them, trying to suggest the rocket blasting off, and just playing with dots and dashes, coloring in some letters solid and leaving others open, taking the letters in Zoe's name and making little characters out of them. Here is playing with texture on the word Halloween, making it look all wrinkled and stuff. And here she is. Her Halloween costume this particular year, she was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. In the flesh. Has her lace collar and gavel and attitude.
I have a sticker on. I have a tattoo.
Well, it was Halloween. That's great.
Notorious are. Wait a minute. It says notorious RPG. Complete with.
I didn't clarify my
Attitude.
Another snow day, and sometimes you just run out of things to say and you just fill it with snow, because snow is always fun to look at. And sometimes, you know, when there's not a lot going on, you're typing and talking and twiddling, and before you know it, the day is all filled up. This was kind of fun, taking the letters and putting each letter inside its own little square and accenting that. Again, just trying to come up with different ways to play with the type, especially when it runs over the gutter. I've got the V broken in half here. It seemed like a good place to divide the word November. Again, adding little eyes and flowers and things like that to different letters. Just having fun with it. Trying to build up a little suspense here about what Zoe's favorite thing to eat. And I was coming up with all kinds of words that went with sweet. And it's mandarin oranges, and trying to draw as many mandarin oranges in the words it's mandarin oranges.
We did a thing at the last part of her first grade class. We worked with Zoe to make autograph books that she could give to every student in her class. And so we took the page and had all of the people at her birthday party sign it, which we thought was a nice connection back to the autograph book.
And here I sort of combined 3 holidays all on one spread. We've got Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But little small things that happened each of those days that I thought were kind of fun to remember. Fun coincidence, we went to a restaurant called Big Fish, and afterwards we went to a movie, and of all movies we could see, we saw the movie Aquaman, which I thought was kind of fishy. Here we have type running up the side as well as across the top, and just a quick reference to the Thunderdome movie, the video. And this is sort of my reference to the first page of the Dove's Bible with the really long I for in the beginning, only I did it with Friday. Playing with some more typography there, doing a scary looking question mark with little dinosaur spikes running around the edge. And in the word today, taking the tail of the Y and running it back under the word today to kind of highlight that. One of Zoe's little books that she made. And she picked up on a little thing that I did at the end of her book, and she started playing with it on the back of her book as well, so it's kind of fun. Trying to make the letters look like springs, literal springs, rather than the season spring. And here you can see Zoe picked up on me putting her name all through her book, and then I picked up on her writing her name all over the back of her book and filled out the page with it. Busy day this particular day. I had all kinds of things to write about. And ended up trying to do a pop-up out of a paper doily. With the summertime one here, I concentrate a lot on the neon colors to try to get the heat of summer across. And here's Zoe going back to school, starting second grade for the first time, and playing with the photograph, zigzagging the edge, and playing with the type, making the O's in book sort of stack on top of each other and being wiggly and jiggly and giggly like type is on the first day of school. So we've reached the end of Zoe's book, and the ending of it for me was the hardest part to do because I wanted it to end on a happy note somehow, and I finally came up with the idea of the adventures of Zoe and the G's continue. And another way that this book continues is playing with the typography and the color and everything in the book. I did a calendar page this year that used the same idea of drawing the type and playing with the shapes of the letters and the little designs, the dots and the squiggles and all of that. It's a calendar page, a group cooperative calendar for the APHA group, American Printing History Association. And I had December this year and chose to do December holidays, DAZE, for all the different holidays that occur in the month, and it turned out pretty interesting.